They said like they'll make $10 million. Probably a lot of cost in running it. Each time we send them on the computer cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you?
Good to see you.
No,
Your beautiful number, your name in the front there?
no. Hi. No, I took a taxi. Give up my parking space, I'll never get another one. How is everyone?
Good. How you doing?
Down in the hospital. Need a double lung transplant.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
And that happened?
No,
Oh,
it's a long process.
right.
$1.25 million.
Walking is just, possibly got a lot.
Moving, it was all I could do to take a shower and change my bed before I had to get back to this
Did this
machine.
get really worse in the last 3 months? I
Yeah.
haven't seen you for 2 months. I mean,
Yeah.
you seem healthier.
Right. Yeah, it's just snafu. Happened one day.
Same season.
I woke up.
You ever collapsed in the last month?
No. What's up?
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better.
Haven't seen you.
Hello. Agnieszka, and I'm covering for Yvette.
Oh, Yvette was, I thought Yvette got promoted or something.
She did, yes.
Oh, okay, no, thank you.
Call or write saying they're canceling?
Yes, two people, Commissioner Franks and Royale.
Patrick.
Or 2 new ones?
Are they? I'm new too, so.
So is Yvette gonna be here?
No, I misspoke, covering in the sense that covering for this position, we are hiring a new staff member. So this is my
What's
first,
your name?
Agnieszka, Agnes.
Agnes?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Agnes. What?
Yeah. Can't unsmoke all those packs of Marlboros. You know what I mean?
Well, how long have you been short of breath?
Couple months, but it got really bad. I went for a pulmonary function test, and I lived 6 blocks from UCLA. By the time I got there, my oxygen was 82%. My heart rate was 109. So we started the pulmonary function test, and this guy from the Ukraine,
Hello.
he said, I gotta take you to the emergency. I may need a wheelchair.
If
He
the
said, "Well, your
captures are
oxygen's
displayed on the.
90%." Apparently I had
Okay, we had had that one.
pseudomonas, somehow it was in my lungs.
Yes, I can come back in.
About 8 bags of that. Otherwise, I've had the machine for a couple of years to use at night, but now I need it all the time. But this little machine.
So you've been, using oxygen for a couple of years? Because you were short of breath? You've been short of breath for a couple of years?
Yeah, but it just got really worse. Lord works in mysterious ways.
Well, how much did you smoke?
Pack a day.
Yeah.
Hello?
Exercise?
Yeah, thank you.
Did you find invites from?
Elizabeth?
Yeah.
I tried to reach her, but she couldn't. I'll check it.
If they turn that on, can you follow it and read it?
Yeah, I thought she told me that, that I wouldn't be, it'd be too far and I wouldn't be able to read it. So I was just, I don't think I could, that's too small too there. Let's see.
This is good though, figuring this stuff out. This is important.
Yeah, that's terrible. Gotta get done.
A nickel or a dime on the dollar. And they didn't have to build, they tried to, wanted to get $500 billion to build this stuff and they got shot down. That's part of the stuff that we're going through now, and tariffs with the Chinese and everything. Okay, there is a kind of a dark side in this AI stuff, and I'm real concerned about it, about us being marginal people, and that we're going to lose Medi-Cal, Medicaid, and Social Security. We've got to build these community health centers, worker-owned community co-ops with labor, and be independent, and start doing it now, and also challenge the special prosecutor under the 14th Amendment. The Supreme Court took him, did not let the governor, Newsom, didn't want it. He comes from oil money, Getty. I don't trust him. I heard him, slapping backs with O'Bannon and not talking about there was a coup attempt. There's a continuing coup. That's what we got, and we got to take him out. And so the Justice Department, they had $42 million on 2/3 of the cases, 120 cases that they won here. They're going to do it now. The justice, the lieutenant governor, this woman tried to do it and got shot down. Now it's a year later. Now there was a commissioner out of New Mexico who was Cowboys for Trump, busted on insurrection and taken out of office. First time since in 150 years. Now that happened 2 weeks after the Supreme Court said they couldn't put him on. They're afraid of chaos. He was threatening violence and stuff. This is a terrorist threat. Enough is enough. And the state's got to do this, and we're at the point of this being disabled people and whatnot, and we need help.
Thank you. So that leads us to our, no, I think it's 2 minutes in total, but thank you. And so, yes, this leads into our first item under number 9, so the reports from the ad hoc committees, ad hoc committee on AI opportunities and risks. So we have a couple of items from Commissioner Elliott.
Thank you. So the first item, item 1, building a disability inclusive AI ecosystem across disability cross systems analysis of best practice. This is a report from the Center for Democracy and Technology and the American Association of People with Disabilities. It's just in the spirit of not creating the wheels and leveraging the great work looking at this technology. So I just wanted to share that with the commission and the city. This was kind of the last deliverable. We talked about a while back the U.S. Access Board had a series on AI, the risks and the promise of AI for people with disabilities. And this was like the last deliverable from that effort was this report. And I know we may work on a write-up of some sort, so I just want to make sure we have all the best information out there to make that recommendation. And so this is just part of that data that I think will help us. There was some great thought, great analysis into this. So that's the spirit. You can learn more about it. It would take me a while to explain it all, but it's a good place to learn, to get up to speed about AI and people with disabilities. And similarly, that's kind of the spirit behind 9A2, the intersection of artificial intelligence and disability rights. On this site, there's a PowerPoint presentation. I believe they also have a video of the lecture, but this is from another ADA region. It's I think the Midwest region. Great slides on just, again, some of the concerns with AI, some of the promises, a lot of research, a lot of thought put into it. So again, I thought this would be another good source of data for us to look at to inform or help us craft our recommendations. Experts with AI, assistive technology, and experts around the ADA and other disability regulations and expertise and subject matter expertise on all things disability put this presentation together. So that's a similar spirit on those two. Just we want to have the best data within this commission, and we also want to share the best data with the city. So they're one click away from all this stuff. And same spirit for 3, except this was, let me pull it up. This was a great report from the American Foundation for the Blind on just a lot of feedback on how the blind community is using AI and other assistive technologies. Got a lot of experts, a lot of feedback, put it all together in a nice report, lots of great insights, because, and someone from the disability community shared this with me, so I wanted to share it with you guys, share it with the city, because we don't have the capacity to go out and interview lots and lots of people from the various disability communities. So I thought this was a good way to get insights from the blind community. So that's the spirit behind this. All 3 are worth a read, and all 3 I hope our city looks at. And 4, it's just a cool, some AI around sign language. Just an example of, a potential promising assistive technology, but something to look at. And just wanted to share about some ideas about some innovations around ASL that might be promising or just might get us thinking about better ways to use this technology to support the deaf and hard of hearing community.
Is that, you're talking about Signs AI, would that be you speak into a mic and it transforms it into sign language?
You're on the right track. It's a way of creating a model of ASL. But I think where the innovation is the use of lots of NVIDIA chips, and also the way they engage the ASL speaking community and the deaf community was why someone shared it with me. So I thought that might be helpful to look at.
And I think if I looked at this a couple of weeks ago, but if I remember right, it also has like a teaching component as well. So it's not just like you speak and it just sort of turns it into sign language, but it tries to help you learn how to sign as well so you can communicate directly.
And crowdsourced. So in a perfect world, we'll have this full model of sign language that people across the country can learn from, but we'll see if it gets there.
What is the, is there a difference, Alex, between Washington's disability inclusive AI versus the state of California as far as how they're viewing or passing possible legislation that differs from national to state level?
That's a good question. I think we'll see. But I know the state of California was looking a lot into it and there's a lot of stuff on their website, like an AI plan and an AI statewide strategy. How that meshes with the federal policy, we'll see. And everyone's looking at it, but I don't have an answer of like the differences, the similarities, but I will say everyone's looking at it.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's also very much in flux
Yeah,
too.
well
Things
said.
are changing very quickly. And then from my end, I had hoped to have a draft of this report by this meeting, but still working on it. We have now well over 30 references, which are all fairly meaty, so it's taken quite some time to go through it. But I think from our discussion last meeting, one of the recommendations or use cases I think that will be particularly pertinent for the city government specifically will be around making services more not only accessible, but just better publicized, where if now you have to know that a particular service exists and how, whether or not you are eligible for it, versus being able to just sort of say, this is my situation, what services are there that, I'm eligible for? And, some of these chatbot services, I think, will provide this tool where we actually will be able to have a much more intuitive, natural interface. So if people know that they need some sort of help, they'll be able to, request it or find out what's available a lot more easily.
Just another thought I just had is we're a year away from the Title II web and mobile app rule coming into play, so that might be another use case is AI to remediate things that are inaccessible, make them more accessible. I saw a lecture the other day where people in the disability community are using chatbots to summarize inaccessible material. So they get something, a document or something that's inaccessible. They say, hey, chatbot, whatever, OpenAI, whatever chatbot you use, and it summarizes it for them. So they go from not being able to digest the information in the document to at least getting a summary, so they're not shut out.
Yeah, I think another really good use case too is where, a lot of government documents are PDFs. That's kind of the medium of choice, but PDFs are oftentimes not the most accessible format, digital format, versus HTML, where if you're using, modern standards, that's a much more accessible format. And the conversion from PDF to HTML is not always straightforward, but with some of these AI systems, they can do that in a much more robust way. So the next item we have is the Local Aging and Disability Strategic Planning Ad Hoc. So this is, I think, Commissioner Adeyemi, if you'd like to give an update here.
Okay, nice to see you all. This Action on Aging and Disability Action Plan is still in the works. And my understanding is that we have about 800 respondents to the survey that is going on. So that's quite a large group. And hopefully at the end of this survey, we will have a comprehensive roadmap to where the disability and the aging population, how they should fare, hopefully is going to be all right when this is all said and done and when the statistics are completely compiled. So still working on it.
And you're working with Alana?
Alana and Elizabeth
Remerman?
Anderson. Yeah.
And I think there's updates on the Santa Monica City website. And I think there's like 3 meetings, in 1 or 2 in May and 1 in June to continue this effort that our colleague will be attending and continuing to give good feedback.
Next item we have is the Ad Hoc Committee to Support the Mental Health Awareness Proclamation. So we, the ad hoc met with a member from the city staff who drafted a proclamation for us. I don't think it is entered into the agenda, but the plan is that this will be presented, I think, on May 13th at the city council meeting, and we'll need to have, well, ideally we will have someone from the commission or one or two people from the commission to receive the proclamation. So if I remember correctly, the idea is that if you were interested, you would attend the city council meeting and then read the proclamation, and you know, that would be the role. We've done this in the past, so yeah, if there's any commissioners who are interested in doing this, let me verify the date before you commit, but
Next meeting.
The first Tuesday of the month?
it would be the second Tuesday of the month. It's, yeah, May 13th. One note is that it's, you know, I want to say that the city council meeting started at 5:30, is that right?
Sounds right.
But it should be close to the beginning of the meeting, although not exactly at the beginning of the meeting, so it's hard to say exactly when this would happen, but, you know, it'd be sometime between like 5:30 and 6:30, let's say. So is there anyone who would like to volunteer to?
Oh, yeah. Usually I come for the city council meeting. I'm sitting right here.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, so I'll probably be here.
Great, thank you. Anyone else would like to attend?
If you want me to attend, yeah.
Wonderful.
That'd
Okay,
be
great. And no, the city council meetings, are they once a week or once every other week?
Every other?
Typically, yeah.
It's only once okay,
Once a month.
if
I
I
think
can.
it's every other week.
Is it?
I thought so.
Because I came in here specifically to ask the clerk, when is the city council meeting? And she wrote it down for me, but I don't have it here.
Oh, I thought you went to all the city council meeting.
Most of them, some of them. But I don't take notes of when exactly they are holding. I just come in when I ask, when is the city council meeting?
Oh, so I don't feel so bad. It's, because then if you, Commissioner Adiami, if you want to meet after the meeting and tonight, or to find out what the specific day is, and then we can go,
We can go.
okay,
Yeah,
that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's May 13th, that proclamation.
May 13th,
Oh, it's
5:30.
May.
Yes.
Yeah, May is Mental Health Month.
I think that's one before end of April.
Yeah, the city council meets every 2 weeks on Tuesday at 5:30, is my understanding. And the one,
Not once a month.
no, it's, and sometimes, well, sometimes I'll have a special meeting, so they may be more frequently. But regular meetings are every 2 weeks, is my understanding.
Okay, so if we're going to do this, we also need to vote to adopt it, I believe. Is that correct? So I'll just read out the text, and then we can make a motion to vote to adopt it. So 2025 Mental Health Awareness Month Proclamation. Whereas mental health is essential to overall well-being, impacting individuals of all ages, and is a vital component of a healthy and thriving community. And whereas mental health challenges, including anxiety and depression, are increasingly prevalent among youth, impacting their social interactions, academic performance, and overall development. And whereas early intervention and access to quality mental health resources are essential for supporting young people and maximizing their future success. And whereas reducing stigma and promoting open conversations about mental health are crucial for creating a supportive environment where individuals feel comfortable seeking help. And whereas the City Council appointed the Santa Monica Disabilities Commission to advance awareness of disabilities, including mental and behavioral health, in its planning, decision-making, and advisory activities. And whereas the City of Santa Monica recognizes the importance of prioritizing mental health and supporting the well-being of our community members, especially young people. And whereas Mental Health Awareness Month is a time for community members, government, public and private agencies, healthcare providers, businesses, and schools to recommit to supporting our community by increasing awareness and understanding of mental health, reducing stigma, and making appropriate and accessible services available for all. And now, therefore, I, Landon Negrete, Mayor of Santa Monica, on behalf of the members of City Council, do hereby proclaim May 2025 Mental Health Awareness Month in Santa Monica. So I move that we recommend to accept this proclamation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
We have one opposed. Or, oh, that, sorry. Just to make sure, Commissioner Kazmiadad, you're in favor?
I'm not opposed.
She's aye.
Well, are you opposed to it, or do you support it?
No, I was just thought we were voting. I voted to approve.
Okay, wonderful.
You know,
Okay, we thought you said oppose. So it's unanimous.
don't oppose, because I had
Oh,
read
yeah.
up there that one person
Don't,
opposed.
okay,
that's
so you
why.
approve it.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay,
it's unanimous then.
That language thing,
Yeah.
to make it clearer.
okay.
Okay, wonderful. So we have Commissioner Gordon and Commissioner Adeyemi who will be present to accept that. Thank you very much.
And that's in May.
May 13th.
May
Yeah.
13, okay.
So I'll get with you after the meeting, just to.
Just to be on the
date.
same
Yeah, okay.
page, okay.
The next item is the Santa Monica Bridge Advisory Committee. They put together this advisory committee to, well, advise the Santa Monica Bridge Program. I put this on the agenda earlier, but it turns out,
What is Santa Monica?
yeah, I can give a brief introduction, but as it turns out, they're going to be presenting to us, I think, next month, so we'll get a fuller update then. So I won't go into too much detail, but the essential purpose of this is it's a program to essentially divert certain kinds of people who have committed misdemeanors away from the judicial system and get them, into, if they need certain services, get them to the services that they need. They're running, I think, or going to be running a pilot program, or maybe it's a full program next to Santa Monica City College. And so they're starting to set that up, and I believe the plan is to begin it in the summer. But again, the program, a representative from the program will be talking to us about it next month, so we'll get much more detail about it then. Okay, the next item we have is a discussion and possible action regarding collaboration with the DEI team on the planning for Disability Pride Month, which would be in July.
Is the suggestion like an ad hoc committee to meet with them, or what's the recommendation or outcome from this item we're looking for?
I am not sure.
Because I mean, my instinct is yes, we should, but how?
Yeah, I'm not sure concretely what that would entail.
So, a staff member reached out to us whether the commission would be interested in participating in Disability Pride Month, which is in July, because there will be several events organized by the city, and there is a committee that works on it. And they would like, if the commission is interested in participating, the commission could vote to create an ad hoc, and those ad hocs would reach out. The city staff would connect with them, and the commission could decide how they would want to be involved and so on. So it's a question of creating an ad hoc for this project, if the commission is interested. And then after the meeting, I can follow up with the city staff and give them names of the commissioners who are on that ad hoc.
Okay, great, thank you. So, yeah, are there any commissioners who are interested in this? Commissioner Elliott? Anyone else who would be interested in joining that? Commissioner Casimir Dodge?
Me.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, yeah, I can join as well, so that'll make 3 of us. I think that the limit is 4 or 5. 5, so yeah, 3 is good.
If someone who's not here today maybe wants to join, maybe we can.
Yeah, and we can swap out people too.
Yeah. But no, I think it's important to work with them, so let's just get it moving.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, I'll move to form an ad hoc committee to work with the DEI team on planning Disability Pride Month. When the ad hoc will consist of Commissioner Casimir Dodge, Commissioner Elliott, and Chair Antonini.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And I'll just wait a moment for the captions to catch up. Aye, Casimir Dodge votes aye as well. So the motion passes unanimously. Excellent. Okay. Next, we have discussion and possible action on establishing liaisons for Santa Monica boards and commissions. So if, as always, if any commissioners are interested in becoming a liaison to another commission, you're encouraged to do so. Commissioner Gordon, did you have a comment?
Yeah, and we brought that, just giving you an update, I did go to the Housing Commission. And because you said that you wanted me to be, and I introduced,
Oh, yeah.
they know me, and they said, oh, great, we can get together and do that. Because we're really worried about these loopholes in these feasibility studies. You've got these sky rises that are going up, fifth of, there's no mention, I've been going to I've been going to all these architectural review board meetings, no mention of ADA, no mention of accessibility whatsoever. Wheelchair, they're talking more just about how the windows look and this, that, and the other thing, the planning commission. And it's just, I mean, I've been trying to go to all these zoning commission, everything I can. They're building a monstrosity at Fifth in Colorado. It doesn't look the least bit accessible to me. And then just
Where
to,
the Vons used to be?
you mean the Rouse? Was it the Vons or the Rouse?
The Vons.
It was, no, that's already been built, and for the record, I never see anybody going in and out of that place. And then, you've got the Catherine, which was across from Fisher Lumber, and so, but what's going on, and I mean, in the Housing Commission meeting, is that what these developers do is they say, well, we commit to have it, 10% of the units be affordable housing, whatever that's defined as being. Number one. Number two, they come back and they get a feasibility study to get a loophole saying, well, we're not going to put affordable units in those buildings. It's going to be off-site affordable units. Okay, so what does that mean? People are still out on the beach? What does off-site affordable housing mean? Chair Gordon, she's the same last name as me. She's the chair now. She said it sounded like an oxymoron. So I said, I really want to get to the bottom of this. Because not only will there be people, what defines affordable, what's a feasibility study, I'm just people who don't have a disability, I don't see them being able to afford to get into these places. But number two, about people with disabilities, I haven't heard anything about wheelchair access or what's going on with anything of that nature. So I'm going to still keep getting with them. Please forgive me, I'm still new to this thing, and I'm not good with technology, so I'm more so kind of a old-fashioned 20th century person. I like physically, going to these meetings, try to take notes. So
Yeah,
that's
thank
where
you. And if you want, I can add you as an explicit agenda item too in the future. So, yeah, if you'd like to provide a report as to, what the Housing Commission has been doing. And
Okay, I see, I don't even know how that works. I think Chair Gordon said, let me give you my number. And I just want to make sure I'm playing by the rules. I said, is that a violation of the Brown Act? Because you're afraid to call, and she says no.
No,
So,
it's only within a commission that it would be, but
Okay, because, yeah, she was saying that I've got her number, we can text each other, and what would you like me to say to Chair Gordon or text? It's like, do I suggest we get together for a little meeting of our own, or how's
Oh,
it?
no, I just meant at in future meetings, I can add you explicitly to the agenda, just so that you have some space to tell us what you have been talking about, or what you've been hearing that the Housing Commission has been doing.
Are they getting into any details about what's promised to the developers as like
And I've got all this.
bait to get them to develop there?
Yeah, and no offense, this is way over my head, but there's some weird lend-lease sort of things where these developers want to try to get their hands on, away from city property. Primarily, the parking structure that was demolished across the street from Chase. And that they kind of want to try, that's city property. And the developers trying to get their hands on city property. And the Housing Commission is very concerned that they want to maintain, I guess, land lease. I've got all the term. I'm sorry I didn't bring the notes from the Housing Commission, but it's way over my head. It has something to do with them trying to actually get the parcel. Under it, not only just that that they own the building
Get a
and they,
lease from the city.
well, no, they actually want to take the deed from city-owned property and yank the deed so that they own. And the Housing Commission is right about this, is that they have a feeling with city council that they maybe don't understand it. They're willing to sell off these parcels. And they're very concerned about the city of Santa Monica land getting hijacked and yanked by these developers. Primarily over there on Euclid, too, where there's parking lots, because they're worried about the parking structures going away and people needing to come in, but it just other things too. So I'm really concerned. It makes me, quite frankly, sick to my stomach to know they're going to build, I think, a 21-story high-rise at 5th and Colorado. I mean, and it just seems the planning commission goes, well, architect and ARB always said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and, we'll go ahead and approve it with several reservations, so.
The planning commission has a lot of power.
Well,
That's my understanding, but
They're the most powerful as opposed to ARB?
I think that not to get too off track, but I think.
Okay, I'm totally
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks.
Sorry
for
about
the
that.
update. No, that was really helpful. Yeah. So the next item we have is this is at the instigation of Commissioner Rackfelt. The encouragement of Commissioner Rackfelt. Just a review of how the commission is tracking against our previous work plan. So I attached that to the agenda if you'd like to take a quick look at it. I think that, at least from my perspective, we proposed a rather modest set of goals for us, which we have not yet completed. But I think that since these were mostly centered around digital equity on the city website, this requires collaboration with the city's IT department, and in order to do that, we need to build some sort of a relationship with the chief information officer. So I've continued to email him. I'm still waiting to hear back, but yeah, if we can start to build that relationship, I suspect it shouldn't be too hard for us to achieve any of these items.
At least it looks like we took care of part of 23, 24, where we had a lot of open vacancies. What do we have, just one now?
I believe so.
I think though. We have our reappointments in about 2 months, so we'll have a better measure of where we are July 1. I think our goal should be to be full July 1 after our next round of reappointments. I think some people currently on the commission are up for reappointment, so hopefully some people will stay on, and then I think we'll have at least one vacancy after that. So maybe I'll bring this up later, but maybe this should be an agenda item in June, just to beef up the marketing between now and July 1. So July 1, we're full
Yeah.
with some people in the queue.
And yeah, we currently have 3 people who are on the application list as well.
So Chairman Antonini, what can we do to push a little bit more, getting the IT department and chief information, whoever, to at least begin a discussion? What can I do? What can any of us do to talk to someone? Is the coordinator helpful in terms of that? Is there someone in the city that we can say, hey, we got this out there? I'm willing to help on this to the extent possible, but what would be a
Yeah.
potential direction?
So I think what we should first do is form an ad hoc so that, it's not just one person emailing and communicating, it's like a handful of people. So I have been in contact with the ADA coordinator. He's been very responsive. So if maybe we can try to encourage him to drive this effort, that would be, I think, another avenue for us.
I think you're on the right page. I think maybe a follow-up after our June meeting, if we follow this, could be like, next steps on making this stuff happen. If once our ADA coordinator meets with us at a meeting, we can ask for strategies like what's the best route ahead, form an ad hoc committee, and have them help, us move it forward, maybe make those connections we need to make or whatever. But I think June would be a good real catalyst for that effort.
So who's here in June for a meeting?
Sorry, Commissioner Kazmi Dodge?
Yeah, I wanted to know if all this restarting in June, for the commissioners, if we could, that nothing is in the little local paper, not one thing. Not the meeting, I don't see why we can't put a little blurb, we need one commissioner for yada yada, for the Disability Commission, but definitely we should have it at least in the paper that we're having the meeting. It's a great service not to let the people know that people read that little local paper.
Do you mean the Santa Monica Daily Press?
Yeah, the Santa Monica Daily Press. At least once, that people know the day that it is this Wednesday, at least that it's in that one time. And then we could certainly use that to advertise for, I think it would be a great place
Yeah,
to advertise for commissioners.
I agree. Yeah, I reached out to them 2
Okay.
years ago, and also didn't hear back, but I'll try again. I think it's definitely worth getting that in there. I suspect I was just going about it through the wrong channel.
Well, we probably don't have a budget, of course, so we have no money, so we can't do anything ourselves. We have to put it through who knows what to get anything done. But don't get me started on what we need to do to change the commission. Let's continue with the meeting here.
Well, I want to add that what gets me is I get asked for notifications on my personal email. I get notifications for the city of Santa Monica all the time in my email for the Housing Commission, for ARB, for the Planning Commission, Zoning Commission, and the Housing Commission. But for some reason, I don't get notifications about the Disability Commission, and I sit on the Disability Commission. And that's just, and also city council, it would be nice if I got notifications of city councils, meeting, every other Tuesday or what have you. Or, because one thing I really like about all these other authorities and housing and commissions is that they will also let you know if they're canceled. And so I just go ahead and print those out. And I guess we're just not, I don't get anything about the commission I sit on now, or the city council.
No, I think that's a great idea. Maybe when we speak with the ADA coordinator in our 24-25 plan, Santa Monica has a government delivery service, a listserv, so we can get a checkbox. Right now it says what topic areas interest you. disability or something, some key term. And then if they select that checkbox, you can subscribe, get updates when our meetings are, pertinent info. Right now, it has arts and artist opportunities, economic development, transportation. There's about a dozen options. Maybe a disability option should go on the Gov delivery, and you can subscribe and get updates in that subscription for disability. So I think that's like a specific defined ask we can do and is reasonable.
Sorry, could you give me the specific name of that listserv or webpage?
If you go to smgov.net and you scroll to the bottom right, it'll say City of Santa Monica, enter your email to sign up for news and updates for the city. If you click that button, you have to put in your subscription info, and then it has a number of check boxes on topics of interest. So I'd say one requirement or ask would be add a disability-related checkbox. And then down the road, we can say what's under that section if someone indicates that. So one thing is if you subscribe to, if you're interested in disability, you get an update when the commission meeting agenda comes out. And
How do we get listed there?
that's what we have to figure out, but that's something that can happen. It's called Gov Delivery or a listserv. So I think that's something we need to figure out how to get on this listserv. And that's concrete. And thanks, Commissioners Gordon, for bringing that up.
You're welcome, Commissioner Elliott, because I get the demo permits to, the demo applications. So.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I pull up all the permits for all the demo applications to pay attention to what's going on, because I'm thinking, I get all paranoid. What about they do a demo permit for the building I'm in? With what they're doing. I mean, I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, I don't know what I must have done to at least get those notifications, but I just know that we're not getting one for us, or for city council, so, but, okay, thank you.
Yeah, Commissioner Casimir Dodge.
Yeah, I think that would be absolutely wonderful if we could get, like when they have the Santa Monica News, they always publish that little sheet all the time. If we could get a little plug in that, boy, that would be wonderful. Cause it goes, I always read it. And it just goes, it goes to so many people and it stands out. So,
Yeah.
let's see if we can get on it.
I think,
I would like to see as much visibility as possible
Yeah.
for us. Any way we can get it.
I think by the Santa Monica Daily News, I was once scrolling up and down, and I saw what other sites would you like to subscribe, and it shows Brentwood News, Malibu News, and all these
The
other.
Observer.
The Observer. So if I could have plugged in there, I would have said maybe Disability Commission of the Santa Monica City.
Back to this item, I'm curious, when are we going to get the template for 25, 26? Because in a perfect world, I'd like it as soon after July 1 as possible, because the plan is effective starting July 1. So we need the template to start working on it. We got it super late last year. So we should, in a perfect world, we'd be brainstorming now.
Is that the IT?
I just don't, I just remember we got the template to fill out the past 2 years kind of late, and then it was like, you got to finish it quick.
And then we didn't have quorum, I think.
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
meeting, so it got delayed another month.
And it was a plan for a fiscal year that had already started July 1. So we need to get, and there's a lot of reasons, but we need to get back on cadence. Like, you're planning for July 1, third, fourth quarter, and then you hit the ground running July 1. Like, we're already in the fourth quarter we're reacting to these late timelines. So I would just encourage if we can get the 25, 26 fiscal year template ASAP, and we can get it on our agenda and work on it. I think some of the stuff we already have, we can carry over. We've had some great ideas today. And hopefully, as close to July 1, we can have it submitted. And we have some great speakers already lined up to start to flesh it out. That's just we need a template.
Yeah.
I think the tech support 24/7 might be of help in this regard, if we will let them know what we want to do.
So who do we have coming up? You had mentioned the coordinator in June, and just kind of going back to the 24, 25 is, what is our overall strategy to try to just clarify a little bit what the overall strategy, who do we need to talk to? Or who are we going to rely on or push to get a little bit more visibility and maybe some of these online? I don't have an answer. Is it the coordinator the best way to go?
That's definitely part of the solution, but I think,
I'll start there.
yeah,
and
let's start there. But there's more, CIO, we've wanted to talk to Chief Information Office for years now. We've wanted to talk to City Council. So all of the above, but started with the ADA coordinator.
And they haven't responded. Is there some way to put some pressure on this? So the city should be responsive to our request to come and have the discussion. I know.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here, exactly. What can we do to put some pressure? It's a little rhetorical, we should be able to do something more. I don't know what that is, or.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that comes to mind is reaching out to the city manager, see if we can either schedule a meeting with them or have them, contact the CIO and, encourage them to speak to us.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, sorry.
Okay.
Or no, I was just going to say, some of the stuff from 6A, I think, would be applicable for our next plan to carry over. And I would add, I made a request 2 years ago, just some updates to the Santa Monica app. And I gave some specific use cases, like you search for disability, 0 search results. You search for wheelchair, just so maybe we can work together to have some keywords linked to some drop-down items in the app. Just map keywords to results. Like, I'm happy to jump on a call and walk through. You type in this result shows, but I'm not comfortable with 0 results with some of the keywords. And I put it in writing, but that's one thing I'd add to that 6A.
Yeah, I think there are a number of specific requests, very specific requests we have.
Our bridge to,
Sorry, Commissioner Kazmi Dodge had something to
I
say.
just want to jump in and mention that we could do direct action, like a couple of people are gonna go and read the proclamation, but the city council meets all the time. And if we really want their attention, maybe we have to have more of like 5 of us go, or most of us, just go to the city. Then they will listen. If we're all there, we support it, and if they put it in the newspaper or advertise it, but presence. I'm from the old school, feet on the ground, we march. When we're protesting, when we want something, we march. So we can always do that rather than, I'm not happy with the city and how they're treating us, so yeah, I'm all for it.
And, sorry, Vice Chair
our
Sussman.
bridge to the city council is the staff liaison, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's our sole means of,
Well, not the sole ones. I mean, we can, you have an email address. You can email whoever you want.
right, okay.
As an individual.
Yes, you're right. Or, well, I mean, you are a commissioner. You're
Right.
making communication from your city email, but still.
But you're representing yourself in that situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Because-
how can it be something a little more, we as a body are saying, let's start moving city, I don't know if it's city council or city manager, 2 different directions.
I'm concerned that one of the agenda items mentioned, or I got an email, that Suleiman, 800 people responded that are disabled, and yet how many of those people know that we exist?
We're here.
And we're now meeting in the city council chambers? Apparently not many, or there would be people here.
Each time I've been here for the council meeting, I've come on my own as an individual, as opposed to except when I'm coming for the safety commission meeting. But other than that, the city council meeting, when I've been here, I've had my 2 minutes, just like the gentleman here. Had my 2 minutes, make my commentary, and then go. But not representing the commission, so that if we need to get cohesive, then we have to come more than one, like, the commissioner, Gordon, and anybody else who wants to come. Then we can have one solid voice, right? And so,
I mean, if we did show up, what is the message we're saying? Are we saying we want to talk to them, or we want them to pressure the city to have more direct conversation with us, to talk to the manager or CIO? What angle, because I don't know, do you push the city council, or do you push them to help push the city to do? These are just tactical things that need to be done, that are done by the city, not by the council. So,
Right. I don't know either.
that's our issue. We don't know. We don't know the.
I would say though that we're in a better position to do that than recently, just that we've gotten here, and I think we're on the verge of having a full council. It's harder when we have 6 members or 5 members, so I think that'll help once we get full and we have a plan. Then we can make specific asks from our fiscal year plan and say them in unison, say, per our fiscal year 25-26 plan, we as a commission, the 11 of us that meet in where you're sitting right now every month, how do we make this happen? That would be kind of the process I'm thinking about would get it done.
And at least immediately, I'll start talking with the ADA coordinator more regularly, because he's been very responsive.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be fruitful.
If you had to send something to the city manager and it was formalized, that would be like a letter you'd have to create and we'd all have to approve. Is that correct? As opposed to informally reaching out, you as chairman? What is the difference?
Sorry, what do you mean? What?
Like, what is you reach out as chairman, you represent our body, is that correct then, when you're asking?
I'm not sure I represent the bodies per se, but I'm.
How do we say, city manager, we have these digital priorities. We've been reaching out to staff at Santa Monica. We haven't gotten feedback, and we don't feel that the disability community in Santa Monica is being properly served through digital. We consider it an urgent issue that we need to start working on, and we need someone from the city to come and talk to us.
Yeah, so the procedure for doing something like that's coming from the commission itself would be one of the commissioners or a group of commissioners in an ad hoc would draft the letter and then propose it at one of our meetings, and we'd have to vote on it to approve it.
alternatively, I would think we should invite the city manager to this meeting at some point.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
I'm down with drafting a letter.
Yeah, anyone is welcome to it at any time.
I met with Commissioner White years ago, and then they were very responsive. But now I think we have an interim, so they just posted the permanent. So the question is, should we try and engage the interim or?
Sorry, when you say they posted the permanent, that means they're still looking for a candidate?
Yeah, that's my understanding. I don't know how far along they are in the process, but currently there's an interim city manager. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And they're in the process of hiring, which takes probably a couple months. So they're probably a month into a multi-month process.
Well, yeah, because Commissioner White's up in Berkeley.
Yeah.
And there is a huge sign, the Santa Methica sign, there on the promenade. And I think that because I'm still 20th century, when I was walking after this meeting, I was walking up the promenade, And there was a warning sign, this, the city manager, of Santa Methica is now up in Berkeley, beware Berkeley, and then they have the name, I think, of the interim person.
Elaine.
Yeah, you know that business, he's got a huge,
Sign, yeah.
yeah, it's in Santa Monica Daily Press all the time.
Over meth pipes and.
Yeah,
for
it's that one
distribution, yeah.
business guy, it's in the Santa Monica Promenade, but when I was walking after, I think the Housing Commission meeting, or, you know, whenever I walk through the promenade after the meeting, he always gives us an update. So like I said, they said, City Manager White is now going to Berkeley, beware Berkeley, and then it said that there's an interim guy, or there is a name of the replacement. So,
Actually, he's assistant manager in Berkeley, at Berkeley right now. Mr. White, right? City Manager White, former city manager.
no, they got rid of White
Yeah, he's in
with the
Berkeley.
Y. It's,
Yeah, he's
right,
in Berkeley.
he's going up to Berkeley.
Yes, as assistant manager over there.
In Berkeley?
Yes.
Yeah, so the sign said beware Berkeley. But I'm pretty sure that he also put who the replacement's gonna be.
Well, they're still
On that
hiring-
big
they're still
sign.
hiring.
Yeah, I think it's probably the interim manager then. But yeah, nevertheless, worth reaching out to them.
If it's interim, I guess it doesn't carry as much weight.
I don't know.
They have
You
to
never
fill
know.
the position, they can't leave
I
it.
mean, yeah, they're still running the city until a permanent manager is found.
Okay.
Okay. So is there any more?
When is the coordinator scheduled to be here?
Yeah, so moving on to 13A, we have, the next two meetings are going to be kind of packed. So May is going to be the airport conversion update. We had them speak, I want to say a year and a half ago or so, maybe 2 years ago. And so now they're coming back with another update. And then the Santa Monica Bridge program, which I mentioned before. And then the following month is when the ADA coordinator will be speaking to us
So that's Public Works?
for the airport conversion update, yeah.
Yeah.
And Step Up on Second will be talking to us in June as well.
There you go, Harvey.
That's one of the nonprofits that Vice Chair Sussman in particular has been agitating we speak for, or speak with.
Just for future agenda planning, maybe just for May, we just have some, like a placeholder, we should talk about some mental health, at least an update of what happened at the presentation. That should be an agenda item to talk about mental health stuff. I can maybe curate some resources, but I think, and on that note, I'll share, so the big thing is we're about a year and 3 months from the Behavioral Health Services Act, replacing the Mental Health Services Act, and they just released the second set of policies. So last agenda, I posted Module 1. Module 2 just got released yesterday. I would have sent it to you, but it came out too late. And they're receiving feedback on Module 3, so they'll get feedback from the public, and in a few months, we'll get Module 3. But I think this just ties to everything behavioral health is at. How does it synchronize with the state? So like Module 3 talks about population health measures. So when we're talking about data measures we're looking at, we'd probably also want to see what the state is going to be collecting as an example of how to synchronize what we're doing locally. Because, I see a lot of, let me phrase this the right way. Sometimes when I've been on some local efforts, they don't synchronize, and that's a problem. So I'll just leave it at that. So now that this Module 3 is out, the local aging committee, whoever's looking at behavioral health, that's going to be going on from July 1, 2026, needs to be monitoring what data is being looked at by the state and what policies are going to be in place as of July 1, 2026. And we have more information this week than we had last week, and we'll continue to get more information.
Vice Chair Sussman, you had
I
something?
just wanted to be clear, you said that this behavioral model is gonna replace the mental,
It was a couple elections ago.
two different things, aren't they?
It's going to be called the Behavioral Health Services Act rather than the Mental Health Services Act. That was part of Proposition 1, which passed March a year and a half ago or so. And it's going to include substance use disorder services, more housing services. The bucket of funding is going to change quite a bit, as well as some of the outcomes they collect. And it's going to be a major shift. Even the 3-year plans are integrated. So it's how the behavioral health system does this, the managed care providers do this. It's a big change. We need hours to go over all of it, but I'd say the intervention is the city needs to be looking at this and seeing how what they're doing fits in with this plan or start to plan for this. And we should be aware of it as advisors on, or providing insights on people with mental health disabilities. We need to be aware of this.
And sorry, did you say Module 2 or Module 3 just came out?
Module 2 final version came out, and then Module 3 is open for public comment. So Module 3 draft just came out.
Okay, and when does public comment close for Module 3?
I want to say in 2 weeks, so like February 26th. Don't quote me, but in the next 2 weeks, you can provide a feedback on Module 3. So,
Okay, does anyone else have any other suggestions or thoughts about future agenda items?
Actually, I have Commissioner Elliott.
All right, could you speak into the microphone?
Yes. Commissioner Elliott, you mentioned actually item 9.3, the American Foundation for the Blind. Know that you have any, AI is everywhere, right? And I'm just curious to know, is there anything in place that's perhaps replacing Braille? I don't see how, I don't know how that could be done. Really.
that's a huge conversation. I visited the Braille Institute and was just an amazing, it's by LA City College. So some people use Braille, some don't. But a lot of people I was learning and use Braille displays or displays. So it ties to just making sure things are digitally accessible so that when they use their device, it's picking up the website. So some people might use a Braille display, some might use a screen reader or some device that takes the information from the website and translate it into their device so they can pick it up with their hands. So some people in the blind community don't use Braille at all. Some use it a lot. So there were people I met that use some sort of display device or a screen reader to get information, and were very couldn't do everything on the computer.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to how somebody that can see would use a PowerPoint.
Yeah, a Braille display, so the PowerPoint would play. It would convert it into something that they could, or they could hear it. It could say it audibly. There's multiple ways to get the information from the PowerPoint to the person's brain. I was jumbling. I would have, if I was prepared, I could have said it way more articulately. So don't. I can
followed
give you
it.
more information. I can give you links to learn more about it. I was, jumbling a little bit there.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, with that, I adjourn.
Thank you. See you.